Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Meanings of the Zoo. I am your host, Johnny Hellcat, and with me today is, hey, Camel.
I'm alive.
I'm alive. So, how are things going over there?
Ah, some good, some not so great. I'm only like a couple of weeks away from paying off the house, which is in the good column,
Yes,
right?
that is in the good column.
Um, on the flip side, I was told last Friday that my one of my dogs has bone cancer.
Uh, and you took him, took her in, right?
I did take him in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I took him in last Friday because he had some swelling on his back left leg. Thought maybe it was a sprain, strain, you know, possibly even maybe even a fracture of one of the bones because he had a little spill going out to do his business one day, and you know he was favoring it, and I thought, okay, well, give it a few days, see if it goes away, and it didn't, and then just didn't go away. So got him in with the vet. They took some X-rays, which they had to sedate him for, which was that was fun. Um, and yeah, like one side's got pitting in the bone, and the other side's got just where it looks like the bone's been worn away. So they've got him on prednisone right now, trying to see if there's any second opinions because they want to amputate the leg. And I was like, well, it's one of his back legs, and he's kind of a big boy, so I don't know how that's going to work. It's like, I mean, you're giving him prednisone, right? Like, I've given in my other dog, you know, antibiotics that are cross species, human, canine, whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, has nobody worked out like some canine chemo or something? You know, because I mean, he's only 6. If he was 10, 11, be like, oh man, just I guess ride it out until it gets bad and let him go. But he's still got some years on him.
Yeah.
Uh, I see Sora's asking if I can get a referral to a vet oncologist. There's a specialty, emergency vet clinic up in Tulsa, and I don't have the money for that. Um, I had an experience a few months back with my bulldog. I'd taken her to a different local vet, and they told me pretty much that, oh, your dog's dying. There's nothing we can do. She has congenital heart failure, and her spine is fusing, and there's all kinds of hellacious shit. And it's like, well, there's nothing really we can do for her. There's nothing anyone in town can do for her. Your best bet would be to take them to this vet clinic up in Tulsa. And this is after they'd already taken like almost $400 of my money for X-rays and whatnot. And so, like, I drive 2 hours up to Tulsa with the dog. I sit there and I wait for a few hours for her to be seen. All in all, it cost me like over $900 between uh, the local vet, the specialty vet, the driving there and back. Like almost $1,000 to find out my dog has heartworms. I was pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really can't afford that. I'm waiting to hear back from my vet that he put out some feelers to some of his other veterinary friends to see if there was any other course of treatment they could do besides just hacking off the leg. Can you guys still hear me? Is it just Johnny that's Okay, I'm good. But yeah, and another kick in the ass was so I took the Rottweiler in Friday, get the diagnosis of bone cancer, go to work that night, and the next morning, come home, get changed into some comfy clothes, trying to relax. Bulldog wants to go lay down in the bedroom. So I go put her in bed. Within 5 minutes, she's barking like she wants out of the bedroom. So I go to check on her. She'd gotten herself tangled up in the blankets, and I don't know if she fell out of bed or was trying to jump out of bed, but the blankets only went so far and then stopped. And so she ended up tearing a seam in one of my blankets, and it caught her like pinky nail on one of her paws and almost ripped it completely out. There's blood all over the carpet and everything. Looked like a horror movie. And couldn't get her into the vet until Monday to get that fixed, which that cost me a few. Well, no, that was actually the cheaper of the two. It only cost me like almost $80. But yeah, they had to get that removed. So it's just been like one kick in the balls after the next.
All right, am I back?
You are.
Okay. This is what happens when you fuck with your settings.
But yeah. And then on top of that, I got a write-up at work a couple weeks ago. My manager called me into the office and told me that I was getting a written verbal warning for being rude and having a bad attitude with customers and coworkers. And I was like, can you give me some examples? Because nothing's coming to mind here. Who was I rude to? What did I do? Could it have been a misunderstanding? Maybe I was rude. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, my manager's like, I am not going to give you any examples in case you decide to retaliate. I was like, so you're not going to tell me what I did so I can, I don't know, fix it? No, I'm not. Okay.
And I told him not to sign.
Well, you told me that after this is all said and done. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I started pointing out all the shit at this place. I was like, dude, if you're gonna tell me that I've done this or that, you should really be able to back it up. You got all these cameras in here. Pull up some examples. And then he starts complaining about how crappy the system is. I was like, okay.
Let's go to the tape.
Like you, so you can't pull up any examples, is what you're saying. Well, they have somebody watching the cameras. Like, then there should be timestamps, right? I was like, you should be able to pull up, exactly, this time on this day. Oh, well, I should be able to, but the system's crap. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. I was like, so when people steal shit from this place and you have to call the cops, like, you can't pull up the tape and show them. It's a shit show.
Yeah.
Oh, I came close, Cynic. I came close to getting fired because I did sign that piece of paper, but only after he and I had a yelling match that they could hear in the kitchen, which is like, I don't know. There's a door and a hallway and probably like another 20 feet before you can get to the kitchen. And then you've got, fryers and stoves and
loud stuff.
Yeah, yeah, vent fans and all that other shit. They could hear us over that. But Johnny's like, please tell me you did not sign. I was like, yes, I did. He's like, oh, you son of a bitch. I was like, well, it's either I sign that piece of paper or I play a drum solo on this man's desk with his head. I was like, I'm pretty sure, you appreciate me signing that piece of paper just as much as he would if he knew the murderous rage.
He said there was almost a devil on your shoulder there, and
He literally he's like, you're not a small guy. I was like, I'm not a big guy either. You know, like you're intimidating. It's like you're a pussy
with a cloven hoof.
I was like, just because I have a I have a testosterone level that's above 0 doesn't mean that I'm intimidating. It just means you're a bitch. Oh, I'm above average height. I'll say that.
He's taller than me.
I mean, it's all relative. It depends on which convenience store I'm walking out of, really. I'm 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in that neighborhood. Am I hunching? Am I standing up straight? It all really, it's relative. But it's like you're just a scrawny shitbag from the Pacific Northwest. I was like, you wouldn't know what to do in an actual confrontation. I was like, for the life of me, I can't think of any customer I've been rude to. Like, legitimately rude to. There's a couple of regulars, like, we'll talk shit to each other, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's one cop that'll come in, semi-regularly, and he and I just, it's like gallows humor,
Mm-hmm. There was, back when I was an appliance salesman, there was a customer who came in, and I think she was looking at a dishwasher, and I made a joke.
How dumb was she?
I made a joke, and she laughed at it.
Did you make a woman dishwasher joke?
I did not make a woman dishwasher joke. I made a dad style dishwasher joke.
A lady buying a dishwasher? Well, that's redundant.
But she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna check another price at another store." I go, by all means, and if you have any other questions, come back into the store. If you do purchase, my name is Johnny. You can let them know up front. If you don't, my name is, and then I put store manager's name here. My supervisor standing to my left thought it was funny. She thought it was like she was laughing the entire time, like not a hint of like being mad. She goes, "Oh no, this is the worst service I've had here," and we're kind of just all chuckling it off. Lo and behold,
she wasn't joking.
She was not joking at all. She went to the store manager, and he comes up to us about, I'd say about half hour, 45 minutes later, and we're both like, that was a good. Me and my supervisor are looking at each other like, that wasn't bad. That could have been, we didn't get the sale, but oh well. And the store manager comes back, and he goes, so I just had a customer come back and said that you were extremely rude to her. And I'm like, wait, who? Like, what's going on here? And I'm like, was it the dishwasher lady? Because that's the only one that I've been talking to as of late? He goes, yeah, said she was looking at a dishwasher and you were being extremely disingenuous and rude. And I look at my supervisor, and I'm like, did she look mad to you? Like, and he goes, no, that was quite possibly, like, everyone was laughing, everyone was having a good time. And yeah, he is like, well, next time you're just going to have to tone it down. And did you tell her that you were the sales manager? And I go, only if she didn't like the service. And he go, and like, I thought he was going to get at least a little bit of a chuckle out of it. Oh no. He went like deadpan. He's like, you can't do that. And I go, you're just making me want to do it again. Like, and so we just, like, he leaves, and I'm like, and I looked at him like, you think the sales manager's going to get a kick out of that? And he just looks at me and goes, oh, he will totally get a kick out of that. So we told the sales manager the same thing, and he goes, you can't do that.
Well, no, like, that cop, he came in, it's not yesterday's, my Friday for the week, and I was like, yeah, we just got the news the night before. It's like, yeah, we're not going to be getting any trucks until further notice, and so I was just like, man, this place is going down the shitter, and we're kind of doing our little banter thing, whatnot, and was talking about. I told him, like, yeah, the manager wrote me up for being rude. He's like, well, I wasn't going to say anything. That was me. I snitched you out. I'm like, you dirty rat. I was like, yeah, between that and finding out we're not going to be getting any resupply for the foreseeable future, I'm like, I think it's probably about time I start looking for another job. He's like, well, this place, is hiring. It's like, yeah, I could just burn this fucker down. And he's sitting there, in uniform, holding his cup of coffee. He's like, don't tell me that. I was like, what? I'm joking. They have insurance. It wouldn't be fucking worth it. They'd still get paid. Where's the fun in that? I was like, surely, like, you've been coming. I've been working here almost a year that you've been coming in. You think I'm that dumb to admit to you that I'm about to commit arson? Come on.
In a serious manner?
Like, if I were gonna burn the place down, I would do it the legal way. By informing, local, state, and federal agencies that I feel might, want to take a look at the place.
Yeah, there are much more legal, fun ways to take care of something like that.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, like, after we had our little shouting match, I told him, like, look, man, like, I've asked you for this, and that, I've, brought up suggestions, I've, been polite, I've, asked nicely, and you haven't done fuck all right? I was like, so, if anything, you're telling me that, me being rude is effective. Because, like, the next day I came into work, like, two of the things that I told him about that I, repeatedly mentioned finally started, getting done. But he said, like, well, I'll come in on one of the night shifts next week and we can talk more about, these things, but I'm kind of busy right now. It's like, okay, sure. I'm like, I knew as soon as he said it, I was like, he's not gonna fucking show up, and he didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like that's something like I've been trying to communicate with my coworkers. Like, look, man, you find yourself in a management role or some kind of leadership position, like, don't be like this asshole. All right, take it seriously, because I've been listening to these people that I work with. You know, some of them have really good ideas about things that need to be done around the store that could improve the place. You know, people that have worked there for a couple of years or have worked there on and off 4 years have seen the different ownerships and managements come and go and how they did this or that, what worked, what didn't. And it's like, yeah, man, that makes sense. What they're doing doesn't. So,
In fact, I think the only time I've ever been openly rude to a customer.
oh, I've been openly rude to customers before. I'm not saying I haven't. I'm just saying it's like,
Well, I mean, like to the point where someone could probably file an actual complaint and like legitimately have it go. Like it was kind of it was deserved, but it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done it like that. Uh, I
I did berate one customer in Spanish because I got into the end of my rope with all the people coming in who Spanish. I'm like, no, we speak English here, and I told him that in Spanish. I was like, no, I don't speak Spanish. Do you speak English? And he's like, no. I'm like, no. ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no habla inglés? Hablamos inglés en los Estados Unidos. And he just looked at me like, oh shit.
I don't speak like
Like he was
Spanish.
like he was half a second away from being like, I thought you didn't speak Spanish. I thought you didn't speak English, motherfucker.
I I was talking to my trainer. He used to be I think it was either a sheriff's deputy or a patrolman down in San Angelo, and he was he didn't know half a lick of Spanish in him. So he's like, oh,
Do
being
you
that
guys even get Mexicans up that far north?
San Angelo's in Texas, and yes, we do.
Anyway,
So he's like, yeah, I'll take this. They were offering Spanish courses for the officers, and he goes, yeah, sure, I'll take it. It'll help.
now he knows how to ask where the library is, right?
Well, what they taught him was high school English.
Wait. English.
Or Spanish.
So they taught him like Spain Spanish.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit.
Not Mexican Spanish.
That Castilian lisp is, ugh. All because nobody had the balls to tell a king, is like, hey man, pronounce that shit right.
Yeah, they need to like pull in people from Mexico and just be like, all right, this is what this means.
Yeah. Well, see, like that's why I liked like my college Spanish course, because in high school, yeah, that was a clusterfuck. My Spanish one teacher was a white lady from New York, and I used to tell people like, imagine if you had a bunch of Chinese students, right, from China, and they were going to Africa for a trip. So you get a white guy from England to teach them Ebonics. How well do you think that shit's going to work out? You just have, have some little Asian dude like, oh yes, I speak jive. But my Spanish 1 course in college was cool because it was a 20-year Air Force veteran who had gone to the Defense Language Institute as a student and then went back as an instructor for Spanish. So he was teaching us, like different dialects and whatnot, how they say stuff different in like Puerto Rico versus Mexico versus Cuba versus Colombia, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Really good dude. He made it fun, and also the fact that it was a college course, it could get a little spicier.
Yeah. My dad tried to get me to join the military by any means necessary, and I was not having it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And he goes, how's the Spanish class working? And I'm a freshman at the time. And I go, no, it's one of my best classes. And he goes, they have linguists in the military. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, trying that hard. Like, every year.
Like, do you want me to get shot in the jungles of fucking South America, Dad?
Like, because, yeah, and to be honest, being a linguist wouldn't be that bad. Especially, like,
yes, it would.
Translations or whatnot.
Yeah, it would. Because guess what? Shit goes south. You're the first one getting shot.
No shoot.
He understands what we're saying. Shoot him first.
No shooto the messenger-o.
Oh yeah, that Spanish class worked wonders for you. I can tell.
No, I it's to the point now where I can hear it and I can translate it in my head, but I can't speak a lick of it anymore.
I mean, if I had regular contact with Spanish speakers, that it wasn't just like a, hey, I want gas on pump 5 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where if I had like Spanish speaking neighbors or something, be like, hey, like your English is definitely better than my Spanish, so like, could you help me with my Spanish? I remember I did used to have there was a short period of time where I did have like a family of Mexicans living across the street, and the dad came into the store I was working in one day and just kind of like, oh hey, yeah, we're neighbors, so that's cool, and kind of got to talking for a minute, and he's mentioned something about he's going back to Mexico in a couple months. I was like, oh, that's cool. I've wanted to. And this is when I was still, like my early 20s. It's like, it'd be nice to, travel, maybe go down to Mexico or go, see this or that. And he's like, well, you can come with us. I was like, yeah, I don't have my passport, so I'd have to get that. And it's like, passport? It was literally like fucking Blake and Saddle, like, passports? We don't need no stinking passports. I was like, yeah, I do. Like I'll be damned if I'm gonna be like the only gringo in Mexico caught without a fucking passport. No. I'm like, I have been to jail. I am not going to Mexican jail.
Yeah. But you might be able to cut that, but
you can pull that shit off. I can't. Well, first of all, it's like I'm a foot taller than you. And like, if we're doing the paint swatch test, I am Dayglow compared to you people. All right, let's not try and play any fucking games here. My sense of adventure is solely like in one county in Oklahoma, Sora. The rest of the world can get fucked. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to want to see, the world. And then you know what I found out? I can see the world through this little invention we made in America called the internet. And the rest of the world looks like shit to me.
Google Earth does just
I'll dance
fine.
with the devil I know, thank you very much. What about you, Johnny? You ever have any wanderlust?
There's been places I've been wanting to go, but it's more over just time and money.
If I can't drive there, I don't want to see it.
It's mainly like I would like to go play golf at St Andrews in Scotland. That is one of the places I'd like to go.
I mean, you do realize you'll be surrounded by Scottish people, right?
Yes.
All right, just checking. Apparently, all they've got's like munchie boxes and heroin. Just so you're aware.
And a decent golf course.
I mean, by what standard?
Japan's another one I want to go to, but from my understanding, because my sister went, she's like, you have to have someone there who knows things. Like, you can't just go. Which, understandable. You don't want to just go on a whim. Things probably a bit pricey. But,
I mean, I want to go. I would like to go to Japan just to see all the weird shit that like I've seen online, like panning vending machines, like that legit. Apparently they have all sorts of weird like flavors of Kit Kats. All right, cool.
yes, that is the joy of being raised by a white dad. There, tier.
Apparently, a white middle class dad. Fucking who can afford golf?
Well, anymore, no one. But no,
I don't want to go to New Mexico, Mr. Scott, and that's as close to the desert I'm gonna fucking get.
I would say he didn't get into actually playing until about, I think, my sophomore year. When I was a kid, he was essentially living off of tax write-offs. He was.
Wait, I thought you said you had a white dad.
I did. Okay. This is how white dad this works. He had a job where he raised trees for the Forest Service.
So your dad was a lumberjack.
To a degree. He actually was a logger, but on the property that we had, which is about at the time about 12 acres, we raised trees for reforestation for the Forest Service. And
okay, different rays. Okay, never mind.
yeah, not
not with a Z.
He actually was a logger who did raise trees with a Z, but we also
now I'm confused.
In order to have him afford the massive amounts of land that he had, he actually had he got trees and got them to the Forest Service for reforestation. In the meantime, he was a logger. That was his trade at the time. So his job as a logger followed up with his job as a tree farmer.
Making money on both ends. Smart.
And he didn't actually have to pay all that much for the trees because it was essentially a write-off for the Forest Service.
Okay. Now,
he also taught me how to shoot a recurve. And almost had me kill his neighbor.
Yeah, my dad didn't teach me anything cool like that.
Now that's the story of him teaching me to pull the string back and then whispering in my ear the hi-ya-ya-ya, hi-ya-ya-ya. And I completely lost the arrow. That it went into the neighbor's yard. I don't know if it went into the neighbor, but I've never seen that person before ever anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, like I think my dad got me like a slingshot when I was like in junior high. I was like, what am I supposed to kill with this? You know, this isn't cool. This isn't fun. And considering my dad is like missing one eye, I was like, you know, this seems like a bad idea. You know, like what happens if one of these things like snaps the fuck off and I end up looking like you? You know, you're being given demerits for your cool points, Johnny.
It's because I'm a golfer.
Yeah, yeah. Not even like the cool kind of golfer either, you know.
I no one will ever be John Daly.
John Daly is my prime example why golf should not be considered a sport. I mean, if you can do it drunk, it shouldn't count as a sport, all right?
Well, you can do any of those quote unquote sports drunk.
I mean, I'd love to see LeBron, you know, like just completely slosh, you know, blowing like twice, three times the legal limit, trying to drive to the lane. That'd be hilarious.
Actually, I got ran over by a golf cart. we were we were drinking. My friends and I were drinking and playing, and I rounded this corner around this line of trees, and my friend was coming around the corner with the thing, and he just nailed me. I was laughing my ass off. It hurt like hell though.
I'm Johnny Hellcat. Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah,
No, I've never been golfing. The most I've done is putt putt. No, that's fun, you know. Okay, cool. But for the life of me, I can't understand. You know, like okay, I'm gonna hit this ball, and then I'm gonna go chase it down.
well, when you put it like that,
I mean, I've played frisbee golf, but you know, nobody does that sober either. So
cough, cough,
exactly, yeah.
false.
No.
I think that's got to be an only Montana thing. It is.
That's got to be an only like in your immediate vicinity thing.
Oh no, we all here.
All three of you.
There is at least 10 to
The
15.
Moose don't get a vote, Johnny. All right. I believe they call it basketball, Mr. Scott, and yeah, that is the sport of kings. How long do you think it will take before we actually get basketball?
Not. Yeah, I don't know.
Not fast enough, right?
Now I'm going to show you something here.
Oh God.
Falfing.
In western Montana. So 3 people. Quit trying to make Falf a thing, Johnny. It'll never be a thing.
It's already a thing.
No.
It's just a thing here.
Just because one asshole put it on a website doesn't mean that it's a thing. I'm pretty sure I've got an old GeoCities page somewhere that just says some completely stupid shit.
Listen to this stupid asshole. Like,
yeah. Like, yeah, and I'll have you know, it's like there are actual organizations, like where they even have professional organizations, and they call it disc golf, Johnny.
And I'm thinking that I will be joining. Like just in this one search, I think I'm going to be joining the disc golf group, because it kind of dips into furry territory from here on.
I'm sorry, what?
Falf jumps into furry territory. Yeah,
Explain yourself.
not me.
Okay, explain your people.
Not my people. Like,
Apparently, Falf is a Western Montana thing, and you're saying that dips into furry territory.
it was a disc golf thing before it was a furry thing. So the furries are taking over. A Falf here, also known as a PHOLPH, is a fictional anthropomorphic hybrid species made up of a cross between a fox and a wolf.
You're just making my case stronger, Johnny.
Like, no, this is making me abandon using the word falf.
This is what it took?
Furries? Yes.
I mean, I've only been busting your balls for literal years now. Literally, this has been what, like 2-3 years at this point?
Fucking furries. Gotta ruin everything.
They do ruin everything.
Took a perfectly good and took a perfectly good argument and yiffed all over it.
Okay. First of all, perfectly good argument.
Yeah.
That's where you're going with here.
We had a good argument going on whether or not Falf was
I
an
had
actual
a
thing.
good argument. I had a bulletproof argument. You were shaky at best. Let's be honest.
Me and my
You
trio
and
of people.
Yeah, you and your 3 moose friends, who apparently aren't actual moose. They're just furries in disguise.
Yeah, there is one.
All I know is every person I've ever seen playing disc golf has been at least a little bit toasted. So I can just imagine what the reactions would be if just some furry shows up in a full fucking costume wanting to sling some frisbees. It's like, hey man, I think I'm gonna lay off the weed for a while. I'm starting to see shit. Never seen a real frisbee go. Well, I mean, there's a couple of courses in my area. One is kind of on the smaller end, and one's fairly good size. I mean, uh, it's fun to play, but I have not been to play in. It's been years now. I did find my bag of frisbees while I was going through trying to clean out part of the house. So who knows, man? Maybe once I get the house paid off and try and start getting it fixed up, maybe I'll go sling some plastic. Moose Hunter Howard says, I play Falf with Hellcat. Well, you, sir, you're just wrong. I don't know what else to tell you.
It is, yeah.
So you said you had a couple of stories
I,
before we started the stream.
uh,
What's going on in
I,
the world of Hellcat?
it's not necessarily just mine. I had three, and I lost one. I don't quite know what
Well,
happened to it,
did
but
you did you check the last place you remember having it? You know,
it was
maybe it's
on
just
the. Oh,
misplaced.
yep, nope, I did find it.
It's always the last place you look, man.
Yeah, because why do you keep looking?
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, timelines merge. You might find yourself in an alternate dimension. It's always good to keep looking just in case.
Oh, apparently I didn't send myself the message that I had sent. Okay, sure. Let's see if I can bring up the third message here. All right, so we can go with the maddening story. We can go with the scientific story, or we can go with the those dirty bastards story.
I mean, Wu-Tang is for the children. Let's go with the old dirty bastard story.
Okay. Let's see if I can bring this scene up here. Squirrels caused 3 power outages in 2 days in Montana City. And, of course, now this stupid thing on my Windows wants to fuck everything up. Okay. Let's see.
Well, hold on now. There have been quite a few stories about like power outages and what. Did these squirrels get caught with a gun? Were they shooting at transformers and whatnot?
I don't know, but is that one like trying to eat a snake?
I don't know what that is.
It looks like a snake.
It's choking the life out of it.
Just the rage. It's so mad. Skulls. Nice. Utility officials in Montana City said squirrels were responsible for 3 separate power outages over the course of 2 days. Northwestern Energy said about 14,500 customers were without power for 45 minutes on Saturday when a squirrel damaged equipment at a substation. Further outages were reported Sunday morning and Sunday evening. The utility.
See, this is how long we've been friends. Like I was half tempted to give you an attaboy for that first paragraph. Like, man, those reading streams have been paying off.
Yeah,
and then I was like, wait for it.
Yep.
And then we got to paragraph 2.
It's a matter of time, and it all just happens. But then again, I haven't done a reading stream in a while, so I have to keep everything going. It's like exercise.
Hooked on Phonics worked for Hellcat, guys. Just saying.
Let's see, the utility company said in its investigation into the Sunday outages revealed that there were also squirrels caused. Oh shit! They were also caused by squirrels tampering with the equipment, and that is the shortest
Tampering
article.
with the equipment. The squirrels are sabotaging our power grid, folks. These are obviously Chinese communist squirrels sent here to infiltrate and disrupt
See, that is a snake. He is... That snake owes him some money.
That squirrel is choking a one-eyed snake. I tell you, man, there's no decency in this world.
Get a room. Well, that was fun. All right.
Damn tree rats.
So we have the science one or the enraging story. How mad do you want to be at this early in the stream?
Save that one for last. I'll go with the science one.
Okay. I'll just switch this one over to the stream itself. Remains of a dinosaur species that may have changed its skin color like a chameleon are being excavated in a ranch in Montana.
Now, how the fuck would they know that? You remember when we were kids?
Mm-hmm.
All the dinosaurs had scales.
Yep.
And then sometime in like my 20s, like, oh, no. They all had feathers. Like, fuck you.
And then some had feathers and
I
scales.
watched The Land Before Time.
And then some had scales.
I've seen feathers. Jurassic Park. Yeah. Those motherfuckers didn't have feathers.
Let's see here. The 65 million year old Edmontosaurus fossil, which was found east of Jordan, Montana, is being carefully plastered in preparation for it to be moved to a museum in October. Let's see. Edmontosaurus. Okay. Don't know why you'd call it that, but whatever. Was an herbivore that lived between the Campanian and that word periods, 83.6 million to 66 million years ago. It was one of the last non-avian dinosaurs to exist. This is before feathers.
I'm gobsmacked here because we've got an Edmund
it's John,
and an Albert.
It's Jar Jar Binks.
Well, I mean, I already thought it looked retarded. You don't have to sell me on it, Johnny.
This later became the Duck Platypus.
We have dinosaurs named Edmund and Albert. Like we really just not even trying anymore, are we?
Nope.
I mean, like Tyrannosaurus. Like, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't that mean like tyrant lizard?
Terrible lizard, something like that.
Terrible lizard. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. I mean, like Albert Lizard just sounds like a fucking like Nickelodeon cartoon. You know?
How are you gonna know that it had skin that would change colors?
Yeah, that was my first question.
Especially 65 million years ago.
Yeah, see? I was right. Tyrant Lizard. So that means they got one that's named Edmund Lizard and one that's named Albert Lizard. It's fucking lazy.
Yeah.
But I really don't care. You know, great. There was a chameleon 65 million years ago.
Congratulations.
Whoopty shit. Yeah. Obviously, it didn't work out all that great for him. Um, be honest, Johnny. When's the last time you really gave a shit about dinosaurs? Because for me, it was about, I don't know, age 5.
I would say 6 or 7.
Okay, you were a bit of a
Six,
late bloomer. All right.
6, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
It shifted to elephants from there, so it's kind of yeah.
yeah, I really I do not care, you know. Unless there's enough of those things, in the ground that can get me some cheaper gas, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
All right, piss me off.
All right, because I did a brief read into this, and I'm just mad now at myself. So it's not going to be any better. But family says 14-year-old daughter discovered iPhone taped to the back of a toilet seat during a flight. The family of a 14-year-old girl who allegedly discovered an iPhone taped to the back of a toilet seat on a recent flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Boston said they believe she was targeted by a member of the crew. And that
I
plane
mean,
and that flight attendant was never seen again.
I have to ask, like, did they even try to think this through? I mean, iPhones aren't exactly small.
Oh, there's a picture. I wonder if I could. I wonder if it'll show.
And you just you just taped it to the toilet seat? Like, I mean, first of all, that doesn't make any sense because you're just going to see that their back while they're sitting on the throne.
Let's see here. During the September 2nd American Airlines flight 1441, the girl was told by a male crew member to use the first class bathroom. The crew member entered just before the 14-year-old told her the seat was broken but not to worry about it, and then re-entered the bathroom after she left, her family said in a written statement. After using the toilet, the girl realized a largely obscured iPhone had been affixed to the back seat of back of the toilet seat, apparently to record her. She took a picture of this with her own phone before leaving the bathroom.
Here's an idea: why not take the phone with you,
Yeah.
and then just wait to see like who's like, hey, did anybody find an iPhone? Like that'll pretty well tell you, who's the culprit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like you gotta be, like Sherlock Holmes or anything to figure this shit out.
Welcome, Frosted. Let's see here. They have not yet filed a lawsuit. Why? Law enforcement officers met the plane at the gate after it landed in Massachusetts. State police escorted a flight attendant from the flight. Never to be seen again. They later interviewed Officer Chippy Woodchipper, but he is yet to be reached for comment. Yeah.
I'm guessing Boston frosted, or well, at least the story is written out of Boston. Um, I mean, yeah, that's disgusting, and that person should definitely do some time and whatnot. But I, of all the stories I've seen recently, or well, I say recently, but over the past couple years, different flight stories. Like there was the one of like the dude on an Air India flight or whatever, who just like started pissing on the guy next to him. It's like that. Oh yeah,
It's a
like
squelch.
that dude would not. He would not survive till the plane touched down. But yeah, like like if I was that kid, like, all right, well, I just scored a new iPhone. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Although Travis did show
A
something.
were squirrel.
He did show me, send me a video,
Of their shame
and
hate
I
the humble.
don't know why he only tagged me in this, so it's kind of weird.
I think he also tagged like Jack and Monkey. Like he tagged a few different people, but he sent it out like individually.
Okay. So I'm like, how am I just getting? Why put me alone in this? This is not. So let's see here. This is Ho watching.
Oh yeah,
humble
the best part is
streetwalker.
that
A creature
somebody narrated it
ubiquitous
like
to the
David
streets.
Attenborough.
These voluptuous bitches prowl the Los Angeles streets, preying on their natural
Are you playing the
prey
audio for the
and
chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it not sharing?
I'm not hearing it.
It's probably
in the
not sharing.
StreamYard.
So let us. Well, I probably shouldn't show too much of it anyway, because
So it's a bunch of Los Angeles street walking hoods. It's like how bad is your life going that you've got to be a day walking hooker? Mr. Scott said he heard it.
Okay.
But yeah, like seriously, how bad do your circumstances have to be that you're selling ass in broad daylight? Like there's a reason why they're called ladies of the night. You bitches aren't supposed to be out in daylight hours.
All their strengths, none of their weaknesses. Frosted.
I'm pretty sure those bitches still got VD.
Oh yeah.
Probably more than one. Blade was a hooker? I mean, you know how much he owed the tax man. Yes. I've seen Blade 3. That man was definitely a hooker. And not a very enthusiastic one either. A hooker can't go in a house unless invited in. Now, Frosted, you just broke the first rule. You don't ever take a hooker back to your house. You take them to a cheap motel that you pay by the hour and can give a fake name because they take cash. Or at least that's what I've been told.
No, that's pretty much all I had from there. My stories were lacking, but typically, wild animal attacks don't usually happen all that often. Yes, it is. The Matt Jarbo household.
You know, I wonder how many people have actually, like, procured a hooker and told them their name was Matt Jarbo. Wouldn't that be hilarious if, like, the nomenclature changed from calling them Johns to Jarbos? I mean, it would be hilarious to me because that's literally the only time I think about Matt Jarbo now is when somebody's making a joke about sticking their dick in crazy and passing off his name as their own.
You got some hookers and jarbos.
Nah, man. And if you're gonna pay for it, man, don't get a streetwalker. That's just asking for trouble and crabs. You know, save some money. Go to Nevada where it's legal. Who knows? You might end up on an HBO.
Yeah.
Do they still make that show now that that dude died?
Which one?
Cat House.
No idea.
Yeah, I mean, you do know about that guy, right?
No. I mean, I know, who
the guy
you're
that,
talking about.
The guy that owned the joint. His name is Dennis Hoff.
Yeah, I remember.
And,
I know who you're talking about. I just haven't heard anything since the mid '90s.
Oh no! It was going on well into the 2000s.
Oh.
And like the last story I heard about the dude was like he was running for some elected office in Nevada. I can't remember, like if it was a like county commissioner or state rep, it was something. But he died before the election, and he still won. And I'm not talking like he died like the day before the election, like after early voting had started or whatnot. No, he died weeks in advance, at least. Everybody knew he was dead, and they still voted for him.
Nice.
Like, if you were that guy's opponent, like, wouldn't that make you just rethink everything about your life, Like, not only did you lose an election to a dead man, you lost an election to a dead pimp.
After a buffalo wing eating contest.
I'm not a proud man. I never thought you were, Frosted. Don't worry, man. Like, this has not changed my opinion of you one bit. What kind of wings were they?
How spicy can you get for wings?
I'm not really a big wings guy. There's not that much meat, so I mean,
I'm a boneless wings guy. That's.
I mean, does that even count? That's just chicken tenders. Come on.
Yeah,
that's
nuggets.
It's
chicken.
That's nuggets.
It's chicken nuggets with meat to it. So yeah.
I did do the Buffalo Wild Wings challenge once, and never again. Like I managed to it was like 12 wings in like 6 minutes, and like it was like the hottest wings they had. Yeah, man, that shit sucked. Because I mean, as it kind of burned my mouth a little bit, but like it absolutely set my asshole on fire.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, no.
I
That was not worth a fucking t-shirt, and you still got to pay for the wings.
I could
I
not.
was under the misguided impression that if you managed to do this shit, that was free. No, it was not.
And then if you failed, you paid for it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. Like, so I was like, I was like, I was in the zone. I was like, what, one wing every 30 seconds? I can do that. And then you start getting like towards like, 7, 8, 9. It's like, oh, this really this burns. This is not fun. But yeah, I finished them all in less than 6 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. Free wings, right? No, here's your bill. Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I like the hottest I can go is probably mango habanero. And that, yeah, past that, no.
I don't dig spicy food.
I
Like I said, I don't I don't want to sit on the toilet and just be singing like Ring of Fire. With my asshole playing the trumpet.
Oh, god damn it. That's a picture.
I can keep going.
Well, no, I'm actually just because my exactly my brain went there, and then it's actually no, it's in my head now, and so yeah. Yes, I did actually drink the Old Smoky Tennessee whiskey way back when. Back in my drinking days. I don't do that much anymore. I don't drink all that often.
I don't drink at all.
I used to be a big drinker, and then I got married, and then the fun just dropped. No, I'm just kidding. She's not here, so she can't hear me say that. So, as I look around the room,
I mean, you do know that these things are like on demand after we get done, right? Like,
she doesn't reach the show. She doesn't watch the show. She's
that you know of.
She is subscribed, but she never watches.
Mm-hmm. One of these days, you're gonna come home and catch her in just the wrong mood, and you're gonna get like 5 years worth of shit all at once.
Well, she actually calls herself the fun police because she doesn't believe in fun.
Yeah, nobody drinks alcohol for the taste, Frosted. What are you, retarded or something? No. People drink alcohol to get drunk.
I was gonna say reach the show, but yeah, my brain is.
I mean, they do have closed captioning now, and Johnny tends to mumble. So I mean, she might try to read it because. I mean, I'll be honest. Sometimes when he's talking, I tune out too. So it helps if they put words on the screen. I'm sorry. What? Timmy fell down a well? What's that, girl?
She is a loudmouth.
Frost has only been drunk once. Wow. I wish I learned from my mistakes that fast. It took me way more attempts to figure out I didn't like it. Actually, it's once the hangover started lasting more than 24 hours. I was like, you know what? This is a good time to quit.
Yeah, two-day hangovers are not. Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like I was still in my early 20s, so it took a prodigious amount of booze to make a hangover last over a day, but yeah, I was. And then I realized, I was like, why am I wasting my whole weekend on like recovering from, like a half a night's worth of moderate fun? Because it's fun until you actually get drunk, and then it's just like, oh, I messed up. And then there's the obligatory, waking up the next morning, like I'm never drinking again, you know.
And then going right back the next day.
Well, and no, well, not even the next day. It's like, all right, man, hair of the dog. We got to get shit done, Got to take the edge off of this. Whew. Didn't start drinking until he was 29. See, that's smart, man. Why waste your youth doing that? It's like Nick DiPaolo. He didn't start smoking until he was in his 40s. Yeah, get all the fun and stuff you can in the good years, and start doing the bad shit once you're on the back nine. I wish I'd had that kind of foresight when I was younger. Because, honestly, I wouldn't have started smoking until, like, I don't know, maybe next week at this point, Only times I'm willing to have a drink on special occasions or out of a woman's belly button. Okay. I did you at least know where that belly button has been? Like, that sounds unsanitary.
One would hope they'd clean it out.
I'd be like, hey man, like, there's no lint in there, right? Like, I don't want to take a shot and get a hairball. On stage. Oh. Frost is talking about strippers. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely unsanitary. Yeah. I hope that was like a high proof alcohol, man. You're going to need something to disinfect that. Being drunk is not fun. Being buzzed is fun. Being tipsy is fun. Drunk, no.
Fireball.
Like, I use the Dean Martin school, the Dean Martin philosophy of drunkenness. You're not drunk if you can lay on the floor without holding on. And there were many a nights I was clinging to the floorboards for my life. Oh yeah, you don't go fucking. I made the mistake one night of drinking with a bunch of Mexicans, and oh my god, like, they don't stop. It was ridiculous. Like, we ran out of beer, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, so party's over, probably time to go home. Nah, man, like, 6 more of them popped out of a car with like takeout Mexican food. We had fajitas and shit, and like okay, we got more beer too. Like, round 2, let's go. Like, I don't know about that. Oh, come on, it'd be fun. I'm like, all right. I woke up in the front yard. I don't know how I got there.
I remember being at a house party, and I think I was 23 at the time. And there was a couple of people there who were like just talking up about how much they, oh, I drink all the time, that's all this stuff. I can handle tequila, da 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 da. And there's a bottle of Cuervo just sitting there. And so I took 3 shot glasses, filled them up, and I go, you gonna talk game? Let's do this. And so I slid the shots over. I go ahead and take him down. And he goes, I don't have to do shit. And I'm like, okay. And so I grab the first shot, throw it down, take a thing. Grab the second shot, take it down. And I'm already drunk as it is. And I go to take the third shot, and my friend just goes, whoa. No, like, you need to maintain your composure here. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so he takes the third shot, and he downs it. And about, I think, 20 minutes later, I was kind of starting to fade a little bit.
Johnny just was like, I have made a terrible mistake.
And things kind of went, not like buzzy, but like, I kind of lost focus on what I was doing. And he's like, my friend the next day, he's like, I've never seen you on autopilot before, but somehow, like, it was kind of odd. So when I came to the first time, I was sitting with a family watching old reruns of the Golden Girls.
Hell yeah.
At 11:30 at night. And I'm sitting over here. I have children to my left. I have adults to my right. And I have no clue who any of the fuck these people are. But I stopped and I looked around and I'm like, okay, I at least recognize that I am still in the same house that I was earlier. But now I notice everyone's leaving. So I will join my friends outside. And so I got up and I excused myself. And I get out there and I see my car driving away. Because my friend has my spare key. So I'm like, okay. I wonder if he lost track of where I was. And they're just like, all right, we'll go find him. So they take off. And I'm like, well, where the fuck am I? Where do I go? So I was just like, all right. And in this town, I have no idea where anything is. Like, I have like kind of a vague recollection of where I'm supposed to be going. I'm like, all right, I'll just go to my friend's apartment and just meet up with him there. So I start walking down the road, and then I kind of start to phase out again. And then it's like a blink, and then you kind of like you're in a completely different location. And I came to, and my shoes were tied together at the laces, not in a knot or anything, just like tied like you would shoes. And they're over my right shoulder. My shirt is off, and it's over my left. And I'm sitting on a bench, and I'm like, now I have no idea where the fuck I am. So I'm like, well, there's a gas station. I have my cell phone on me. Let's see what happened. And I go to call my friends, and then I see my car driving past me again. And they're like, oh, there he is. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, how long have I been missing? Because I'm never doing this again. There was a prequel. I forgot about that.
No, he's saying Sex and the City is the prequel to Golden Girls.
Well, and there's an actual prequel to Sex and the City.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. But like, why would anyone care about that shit?
There was a short period of time when I was 17 years old. I was living by myself, and I couldn't afford cable. Even if I could afford it, I couldn't get it in my name. So Camel went old school, bought a pair of rabbit ears. I got like 3 channels off of that thing too. I got like Fox, UPN. You remember UPN?
Ah, yeah.
And I think one of the networks. I can't remember which one it was, like ABC, CBS, whatnot. But yeah, like there was a time where like the only thing that I could find to watch was Sex and the City, and I was like, I couldn't suspend my disbelief long enough to actually get into the show, because for the life of me, I couldn't understand why anybody thought that Sarah Jessica Parker was attractive. You know, like all these dudes want to bang her? Really? No. Yeah.
A friend of mine.
I mean, like, let's face it. There's only 2 of those chicks were even mildly attractive.
Yeah.
And that was the dopey brunette and what's her name? Kim Cattrall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And personally, that's only because I have fond memories of her in Porky's. Why do they call you Lassie? Yeah, and even then, like Kim Cattrall, she was past her prime when that was like when that show was a thing.
What, the butchy lesbian gal?
Tyr,
Who's the one? Who's the one with taking away cool points? Like,
I'm starting to understand why the TSA like 97% of the time, like, the weapons and shit like get through. You need your eyes checked, sir. I mean, between that admission right there, and having to take my shoes off every time I go to the fucking airport because you guys let the shoe bomber through. Like, you guys need to, yeah, definitely, like, an eye exam is in order.
you want to try and get Dax? Because
I mean, I did send him the link. He said he would be available after. He wouldn't be getting home until after about 11:30 ish.
because he's green dot, and I sent him a link.
I sent him a link too.
He has no excuses.
Like, hey, fool. Like, unlike me, you haven't changed yourself to invisible. I know you're there. I just got home.
I'm constantly sleeping. Oh, did he just get? He's saying
Yeah.
he just got home.
Yeah. Like within 20 seconds, he's typing. He's like, I just got home. Then you have no excuses. I'm just waiting to hear the beep.
Yeah. No, we were talking because I don't know if you watch Wednesday's Minions.
I didn't. I did not.
Whether it
I
be
was asleep. I slept for like 15 hours, dude.
yeah, you were out. What it said 2 o'clock?
Somewhere in that range, yeah. Like it was between 2 and 3 p.m. And then like I wake up. I woke up long enough to go to the bathroom at like 11, just because like it's like internal clock was like, should you be at work right now? And I was like, no, fuck it. It's Wednesday night. I'm going back to sleep. But yeah, I woke up at like 5 a.m. this morning, and I'm getting too old for that shit, Johnny.
No, I remember like I hate that when you take a nap and you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta get up, and then your body just like starts to do that power up type thing, and then you're just done and you just crash back down. I absolutely hate that.
Well, it doesn't help that the girlfriend keeps the temperature in this house like a fucking meat locker.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried explaining to her for years. It's like, look, I have things that I have to do. And if you're going to keep it as cold as a goddamn igloo in here, I'm not going to want to get out of bed because bed is warm.
Yeah.
It's like, so if we could, maybe thaw this place out just a little bit, maybe, I don't know, above 65 degrees, if we could, maybe, my preference is like, like 72. It's a nice round number, you know. That's shorts and t-shirt kind of temperatures. Like I shouldn't have to layer up in my own house.
Yeah.
It's like I thought you were from California, not Dubai. Like why am I going from it being like 111 outside to like negative 20 inside? I shouldn't need a parka to go to the bathroom, is what I'm saying.
I remember my last apartment. In order to save money for me to put it on budget billing, I decided in my best interest to save money on the electric bill, to go 2 months without turning on my heat. I did have I had a king sized fleece comforter that I used to wrap up in, and that thing I still have it. It is amazing. I love that thing.
I mean, the girlfriend, she's got her, comforters and blankets and whatnot. Like, but I've got a couple that I've got one that I've had since like childhood, and another one since I don't know high school. And they're the nice soft, uh, I don't even know what kind of material it is, but like one's like one of those like NFL blankets, like
Yeah.
but they're both like the same material, so nice and soft and warm, and so like I don't even bother trying to like cuddle with a girlfriend or anything. It's like, all right, now you got your shit, I got mine. You stay over there, Like I'll sleep on top of your covers. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, I at one point in time in the relationship, I did try sleeping under the same covers as her. Guess what? She hogged them like a woman.
Yep.
Never again.
No, it's a fight every time.
Yeah, you go ahead and try and pull this comforter all the way over to your side of the bed with my 230 pounds on top of it. Go ahead, I dare you. Uh, I mean, I do kind of have to curl up a little bit. I admit, Frosty's like, no fucking leg room. I'm like, yeah. Although in the summertime it works out too, because like I said, she keeps that temperature like, year round. So like in the summer, if I get too hot, having my two blankets on top of me, I just stretch my legs out and cool my feet. It's the best job I had. Oh, uh,
I have not had a lot of jobs, actually.
I've had way too many jobs and they all sucked. I mean, it's probably going to be like one of these night cashier jobs I've had because like that's when all the freaks come out. And generally, I mean, aside from this place, I really didn't have any interactions with management. So like I could get away with just like, hey, fuck off. You know, like, lady, it's Christmas morning, and you're sitting here in a bathrobe and slippers. Go the fuck home. Put on some pants.
And that's where we got Get Dressed for Jesus.
Yeah, and here's I had a couple, Johnny, last week. A Hispanic couple. They didn't speak a lick of English, but they were wearing bathrobes and slippers. Some of them are trying to assimilate. All right. They haven't learned the language yet, but they have figured out the dress code, apparently.
Clearly.
I was like, really? That's your takeaway? Yeah. You're not gonna learn the language. You're not gonna, not gonna get, documents. But you wear a bathrobe. Okay.
I did like. I did work at a hotel as a banquet staff. There's a lot of interesting parties you get to work at those things, and I remember there was one party that we had, and it was a guy who wrote a biography for soldiers, I think, from World War II, and he was reading an excerpt about it, and essentially he was reading about a foxhole that had grenades thrown in it, and he's like, next thing you know, there's entrails and body parts everywhere, and everyone who has been in the service was weeping their eyes out. And I looked at their plates, and they're eating spaghetti and meatballs. And I looked at my coworker, I'm like, this is quite possibly the worst thing that these guys could be eating right now. As they're being read stories about, a guy falling on a grenade so that no one else gets hurt. And yet his friend's not there anymore the next time. It's like, oh my goodness. Did I lose you there?
No, I was listening, but I was also scrolling Twitter, and boy howdy. Somebody's trying to argue. Do you know who David Burge is?
No.
He's got a Twitter account. It's Iowa Hawk blog, and I like Dave because he does talk some college football. He Saturdays he does his Dave's Car ID service where people will send him old pictures, and he'll identify the different makes and models of the cars in the pictures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he does he talks politics and stuff like that as well. But I do love the college football takes because somebody was trying to argue in a thread that my point is any given place in Europe has more passionate fans, I guess, than America. And he's like, "Oh, you sweet summer child," and he posts 4 pictures, and they're all of coffins made up in different college football colors and logos and whatnot. So you got one for the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Clemson Tigers, the LSU Tigers, and then one for Alabama. It just says "Roll Tide, roll." So, I was also just now scrolling Twitter, and I also came upon something else that made me think. I didn't tell you about the other day when I got off work. I come home, I get changed in my comfy clothes like I normally do, because I want to be comfortable while I'm at home, as you do. And I go outside to ask the girlfriend a question because she's outside, smoking her cigarette and drinking her morning coffee. And as soon as I go to close the door to walk into the backyard, she's like, "Hey, don't let the dogs out." I was like, I wasn't going to, but okay. I walk out onto the patio, and I see why she didn't want me to let the dogs out. Hey, there he is.
Welcome.
Well, now that you're here, I can step away for a minute. I'll be right back. Got to go to the little camel's room.
Oh, sure. Now he goes mid-story and then has to bail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it goes. How's it going, Dax? Indeed. Camel hates Dax. No one hates Dax. I can't even fucking talk. God damn it.
Yeah.
So, as last time we had a smidge of conversation, we were talking about because you're going to see Baby Metal and Death Clock?
Yep, in 2 days, technically.
2 days. Okay.
Hi, Kiev. See you down there.
And I was talking about a bunch of other Japanese bands, and I was I looked at the album cover to one of the bands, and it says that file sharing is killing music.
Which band is this?
Sim. And I'm like, that is quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone say. And I'm not going to say how I acquired that album. But I will say, no. No, it's not.
It's really not.
If anything is killing the music industry, it is overinflated prices.
Yep. I mean, how much is it to go see Taylor Swift in concert? A couple hundred? Self-worth of these guys is just nuts.
For me, it's free because fuck that bitch.
Well, I'm not going to see her stuff anyway. I have one guilty pleasure song from her, and that's that stupid Shake It Off song. If she didn't have that spoken word part, it actually would be an okay song. I mean, she'd still be a liar because of that line where she's like, she says, I'm trying to remember the exact line. Something about not, she's been on too many dates, but she can't make them stay. I'm like, yeah, no, that's true.
Well,
Is there a-
counterpoint here. She's got how many songs about breaking up with dudes,
A lot.
and 0 songs about sucking dick. Draw your own conclusions, gentlemen.
I mean, the data's there. She did make a song. Yeah, Mariah Carey had a song called "Shake It Off." She's right. Keith's right. Much attention as I give Mariah Carey, at least the woman has some severe talent if she had really tried hard enough.
Personally, I think that woman should be, dragged in front of the Hague.
Let's
For that-
pretend "All I Want for Christmas" doesn't exist. Okay.
No, that's a fucking crime against humanity, sir. The fact that I have to hear it like in October because Christmas keeps encroaching upon other holidays.
Renud Skinud.
I actually did see one tweet one time that was hilarious. It's like, the war on Christmas will continue until its illegal occupation of November ends.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, they're already putting out. They started putting out Halloween shit. Like at the very beginning of September, because we all know that the Halloween shit's not going to last until Halloween.
No, it really won't.
I mean, as soon as the clock strikes like 12 a.m. October 31st, they're going to start putting out fucking Christmas shit.
Yeah, I really hate that. By the way.
If they
Me too.
haven't started already doing Valentine's Day.
No. That's like they'll put that out. Like if not the day after Christmas, it'll be like shortly before. Like they'll have all that stuff in the back ready to go, because apparently there aren't any holidays in January that anybody celebrates. So.
All I know is when I worked at Kmart, we didn't stock a whole lot of stuff in the back. They'd always send us new quarterly shit to put up. Usually just the same shit, just different recolors and slightly different shapes.
I mean,
And the occasional cardboard cutout.
Yeah, that too.
oh no, man, we would get a little bit of Thanksgiving stuff, while had all our stuff set up for Halloween. But I mean, it was paltry in comparison to the amount of shit we had for Christmas. Sitting in the storeroom, just waiting for like the day to change over. And I was like, all right, take all the skeletons and bags of candy down. It's Christmas time. It's like, we haven't even started November yet.
Right? Where's Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving gets one day and then Black Friday, and then nobody cares.
And I mean, does Black Friday even really matter anymore?
No.
No.
Cyber Monday all day.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like everyone gets their shit off Amazon.
Because we already know we're getting screwed for prices. Why not have somebody else bring it to our house instead of having to be trampled by a freaking freak?
I mean, I kind of miss the melee,
Somebody work Kmart during that? No, I don't.
I used
Well,
to.
no. Like I'm talking like as an outsider. Like, yeah, if I worked that shit, like it would just be Fortunate Son playing every fucking November.
I learned how to play that recently.
But no, like I just as an outsider, I like seeing people catch an elbow in the face for like to save like 10% off of something.
That's a lot of paperwork, though.
Yeah. Wow.
I bought a 55-inch TV from a Kmart.
Gee, bragging.
Uh,
Mr. 55-inch TV having ass.
well, it isn't the one I have now. I actually ended up having that given to a friend, primarily because I couldn't. I was homeless at the time.
Wait. You were homeless, and you bought a
Homeless.
55-inch TV.
I bought it under the expectation that I was going to find a place to live, and I was rooming with a buddy of mine, and I'm just like, you know what? I have nothing right now. You can just take the TV, and then either If I find a place to live, I can.
Steve Frosted took the words right out of my head. Like, this math ain't mathin', Johnny.
Well, it ended up. I ended up moving back in with my mom, so I ended up just giving him the TV because there was no room for it. So it ended up. But that was quite possibly the best Black Friday I have ever had, because as I was waiting for the line to kind of die down so that I can actually get the TV and get the hell out of there, I'm like, I'm going to look for fights while I'm here, because these people are assholes and I know what's going to happen. So I get to... I make a couple laps around the store, and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything yet. And
then Johnny just started instigating shit.
it was close. But
right, she's way hotter than you. That bitch said what?
No, there was I get to the toy section, and there.
Wait, the toy section or the toy section?
The actual toy section.
Oh, this is a sad story.
And this is also at a Kmart.
And?
Well, that is true.
I mean, there was a reason why they had that blue light special, Johnny.
It used to be the red light special, but people caught on too quick.
But
I was going to make a joke, more akin to black lights, but I mean,
No. Although I'm sure the patterns were beautiful.
Like a Jackson Pollock in here.
That was the best joke out of that movie. Like, I remember everything about that movie, but that thing I can't forget.
I was actually quoting an episode of 2.5 Men where they had the CSI like parody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And they go into Charlie's room. It's like a Jackson Pollock in here.
There's a couple of ladies fighting over some figurines, and it got to the point where like they were stiff arming each other to get to it, and one of them took the other one and kind of just like shoved him aside, and they're kind of like just in each other's face, and in the midst of them fighting it out, a guy comes up from behind them and then takes what they were fighting over and just runs off with it. And I could not have been happier.
Did he stop and go like beep beep first?
Yoink! Like, no, he was that. He just came in, snatched it, and gone.
I wish you'd have busted out like a Roadrunner sign that said "fuck you, bitch," and then just ran.
Like they didn't even realize it was gone until like I think a good 2 to 3 minutes after that.
You figured my Black Friday story would be like a big thing, but really, the Kmart I was working at wasn't that bad. Actually, there was no pushing, no shoving. There were a couple of shelves that went empty, mostly electronic stuff. But everybody wanted a Wii that year since it had just come out, and we did not have them. Like even employees couldn't, back a room them like we normally do with other things. We were told, no, you can't do that to the Wii's. If we find out you did, you're fired. They were first come, first serve, and they meant it.
But do you still get to keep the Wii after you get fired?
I mean, as long as you paid for it, I guess. I mean, that would assume that anybody who worked at that particular Kmart actually paid for anything.
Well, I fucked this job. I'm playing Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, bye, bitch. That's my favorite saying today, apparently, is bye, bitch. It's such a boring day. Oh, my God. I'm glad to be back at work, for those who care. I actually am back at work, doing the job I did before the last job, and that's fine. I don't mind the job at all. I actually don't hate the job. It was just goddamn boring as a motherfucker. It's just so fucking boring today. Oh, my God. I was at the desk in the, the central area of this place, and nothing happened. Usually you get a bunch of idiots asking dumb idiot questions, but there was very few idiot questions.
What type
and only
of
like 2 medicals.
What type of job is it?
Security.
Ah.
Working at a casino. But it's actually not bad most of the time. But like I said, today was just so boring. But weirdly, the day went by quick as all hell, though. Like I even took early break. Like I had break at 6 o'clock. It was just zoom in and out, done, great. Apparently, I'm doing that tomorrow, so I'm hoping it's still a dead day.
Well, I know for a fact why I like crashed out for 15 hours yesterday.
That's what happens when you eat too much hashish.
No.
Lube, take it in here, Scott.
It's because you weren't here for the conversation earlier. I got a write up, not this Wednesday, but last Wednesday, from my manager.
Oh,
Had a verbal warning because he said that I have been rude and had a bad attitude with customers and coworkers.
You?
Me? Right.
Mr. Cuddly? Not a fucking chance.
Well, I mean,
if they pissed you off, you tell them.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I mean, most of the bad attitude I've had has actually been for my manager, and I let him know about it when he tried to slide that piece of paper across the desk.
it's like, no, I'm not mad at anybody but you.
Well, here's the thing, Dax. I asked him, I was like, all right, so give me some examples of how I've been rude. Who have I been rude to? Because, for the life of me, I couldn't think of any customers that would have said that I was rude to them.
Show me the complaints.
I could think of maybe one instance where coworkers may have said that I was rude to them, and I wasn't even being rude to them. They were on the other side of the store, and I raised my voice to talk to them from one side of the store to the other because I was frustrated that our truck order didn't include cleaning supplies that I specifically asked for.
Yeah,
because we're on a budget and we can't go over X amount of dollars. I was like, all right, well, cut some of this other shit that we're not selling, and give me the things I need to do my job.
But old lady Carson comes and buys like 2 items from that list of stuff that they could probably stop selling and redirect towards getting the place nice.
Well, there was like 2 weeks where I didn't have the cleaning packets for our coffee urns, so literally all I could do is just run hot water through them.
Oh, those little calcium tablets.
Well, ours were like little packets. It was almost like a tea bag almost. You just put that in the filter tray, and you run the hot water through, and it turn the water blue.
Oh yeah, we did have those.
Yeah, I mean they've alternated between the tablets and those little packets, but either way,
we eventually went with the tablets. Apparently,
we didn't get either one of them for because we would get truck orders. They put an order in on Monday, we get the truck on Tuesday. They put another order in on Thursday, we get the truck on Friday. So we're supposed to get 2 trucks a week.
Okay. Is that happening?
No.
Okay, well then they need to pre-order more stuff.
Well, that's the thing. It's I had told the manager, hey man, I need this and I need that. And then I told the guy, the vendor that put the orders in, I was like, hey, go ahead and put this and put that on there. And then the manager went around, because the manager wasn't there when he was putting the order in. So the guy had to come back later in the afternoon, verify the order with the manager, and the manager took my shit off.
Why can't he make the order on his own?
The vendor or the manager?
Well, who is it? Only the manager that can do it?
He has to approve the order. He has to make sure that they stay under budget.
So he's a controlling douchebag.
No. This is from on high. You are not allowed to go over X amount of dollars.
Well, you should all send letters being like, yeah, so this X amount of dollars is what keeps us safe and hygienic. So
I don't give a shit about the X amount of dollars. Like I said, take something else off and give me my fucking cleaning supplies.
I'm sure they're over ordering other stuff. I guarantee
balance the budget. Cut this, get that. Stay under your prescribed amount.
Yeah, but they've done that. It's not that hard to minus a couple things here and there. It really isn't.
Especially considering like they would get a whole bunch of different types of cigarette stuff that we don't sell. It's like,
So if anybody
okay,
want 'em.
maybe you can cut like a carton of that,
Yeah.
so I can get my cleaning packets. Maybe you can cut another carton or two, so I can get my all-purpose pine cleaner that I use in the mop water. So we got the minty fresh smell or whatever. But that literally that's all I asked for is two things. One for mopping and one to clean the coffee. That's it.
Well, tell them that the job can't get done, and every time you ask them up, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not just putting water on the floor to satisfy your whim. Go buy some pine sol and come back, and I'll do it."
So, but
God, I've done it.
during our little discussion, you know, he did pull up a couple of different video clips from the cameras, and one he was trying to tell me how like we're not as busy on the overnight shift as they are on the evening shift, because I had pointed out, I was like, hey, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, you know. Like, I get that they are busier, they have more customers. Never said they didn't. What I'm saying is they still have time to do basic cleaning, you know, and they're not doing it.
Of course.
Or if they are doing it, they're not doing it right.
No, they're not doing it.
Well, I was saying, for the most part, they're not doing it. But the stuff that they were doing, they weren't doing right.
As far as they did anything at all.
But, his excuse was like, well, they're busy. They're busier than you are. I was like, they're not that busy. It's like, well, we pay you to do this. Like, you pay them to do that as well. And it's just back and forth. And so he does pull up video to show how I'm not as busy as they are. He literally pulled up video from, like, when he walked in that morning. And, that night there was 3 of us on shift. There's one night a week there's 3 people on shift on the overnights.
I would have called him out on cherry picking.
And it just so happened that he managed to pull up a clip, from when he walked in, when he saw me standing at the register. There was no customers.
Oh God!
So he pulls that up and he plays like 30 seconds. He's like, "See, you're just standing there at the register." Like, yeah, where are the other 2? Because one of them you couldn't see on the camera, and the other one you could just barely see their head in like the bottom right corner of the screen. Because they were literally sitting right in front of me, and I was talking to them. We'd already gotten all of our shit done. We were just waiting on customers.
Isn't somebody supposed to be manning the register if there's enough of you to cover it? Like the whole time?
Like I said, all 3 of us were sitting there.
Yeah, so even if we were busy, you were doing what you're supposed to do.
Done stocking, all that shit. We got that all done. And then he pulls up a clip from, the evening shift, different camera angle. Literally all you can see is the back of 2 people sitting there, one at the register, one in front of like the little hot box area where they've got some fried foods and whatnot to sell. You can't see any of the customers. You just see them 2 standing there. I was like, this is your evidence that they're busier? Like, it's like, man, you really don't know how to make an argument, do you? Like,
It's the cloven hoof.
But
sounds more like the Ralph Gunt.
But yeah, like, and so he told me I was rude to customers and coworkers. And I was like, all right, so give me some. He's like, no, I'm not going to give you any examples. Camel.
Then you don't have anything to say. Period.
He's like, I'm not going to give you any examples because you might decide to retaliate. I was like, or I might apologize, you fucker. Maybe I was rude, but unless you tell me what I fucking did, I can't say one way or the other.
Right?
Maybe I was. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. Who fucking knows? Maybe they just didn't like my face. I've had that happen before. He's giving me dirty looks. Like, I'm literally just sitting here. The fact that I don't have some shit-eating grin on my face makes people think that I'm, in a pissed off mood, apparently.
They used to do that shit to me too, and I just wanted to be quiet and work.
It's like, you need to smile more. It's like, you need to shut the fuck up and do your job.
My ability to smile does not induce a better experience for anybody.
I actually had a woman tell me I had to smile more, and I go, I'll only smile if you blow me. And
Wow.
she's like,
And that's how Johnny got sent to HR.
well, this wasn't at work. This was at the bar.
So you met the bouncer.
No, because I was actually friends with the bartender, and she did not like my response. And he's like, so? And I'm like, bye, bitch.
Like, man, he made his terms very
Told you
clear.
that's
If
the
you want
phrase
him
for
to
the day.
smile, you gotta suck some dick. So, like,
The gauntlet has been
what
thrown.
are you telling
Step
me
up or
this
shut
for?
up. The only way I want to see your mouth open is if you're performing the act. Otherwise, leave.
Yeah, in my experience, women are a lot more pushy in a bar type setting than men are.
I wonder why.
Like, I've seen dudes get shot down. I've seen dudes, maybe not take it all that gracefully. But guess what? They all know that within a hot second, if they step one toenail out of line, there's at least gonna be 4 dudes, ready to beat the ever living shit out of them right there and then. Women don't have that worry. Like, I had one lady at a bar. Like, I've never met this lady before in my life. Couldn't pick her out of a lineup before she approached me. Nothing. And I'm sitting in a booth with a few friends. They got a bucket of beers. I'm just sitting there, drinking on my long neck, right? And I'm wearing a hat, just a ball cap. And she moseys on over and asks me to dance.
Oh,
Camel don't dance. All right.
camel sachets.
No. Not a box step, not a foxtrot, not a tango, nothing. All
No
right.
plies or pirouettes.
Nope.
I fail to believe that. I bet you got a tutu right now.
There's no electric slide, no hokey pokey.
How the hell can you not do the electric slide? Everyone knows how to do that.
I know how to do it. I just refuse.
I'm taking you dancing. No, I hate dancing. Truth be told,
Yeah,
I
like,
waltz. That's about it.
I it's not fun for me.
You
I
get
don't
nothing
wanna
out of
do
it.
Yeah, exactly. But also, I just, it's never been fun for me. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to do it. And since I don't want to do it, guess what? I don't.
Who'd have thought you had willpower and you excised it? It's like,
So this woman, she's like, hey, you want to dance? I'm like, no, thank you. Just, I was polite at first. Like, no, thank you. Oh, come on, dance. I was like, no, I don't want to dance. Oh, come on. No. She tried to grab my hat off of my head.
No means no.
Skank.
And so
You're
I've got to
dead
sit. I'm
ass.
sitting here having a tug of war with this drunk bitch over my baseball cap, just because, I didn't want to do the fucking safety dance. All right.
You had a hat that said Mabja on it. Make blowjobs great again.
I was the friend that didn't want to dance, so I was no friend of hers, right? No. Wouldn't take no for a fucking answer until I was like, look, bitch, I don't want to fucking dance with you or anybody else. Leave me alone.
You're telling me you wouldn't dance with Chewbacca?
I mean,
See, there's one person you dance with.
well, I mean, that's only because they're about to try and cut his leg off. I mean, yeah, I'd dance with him before, he can't dance no more. I hadn't told you about that. My Rottweiler's got bone cancer, Dax.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, and they want to amputate his leg, and it's one of his back legs. I was like, he's a big boy. I don't, his mobility's gonna be shit. And speaking of shit, it's like, I've taken, I got to take him out to go do his business every morning and evening and whatnot, and like he's really got to like hunker down. He's got to spread those legs, get a good, get some leverage to it. He's not gonna be able to do that if you cut his fucking leg off.
Light side view optimism, silver lining type thing. You can get him this cool prosthetic though. Something bitching with like flames on it and shit.
Do they make prosthetics for like the back leg?
Yeah, they really do.
I
We
mean,
need to get you one.
I'll have to look into that. Yeah.
I will put in like for a GoFundMe for that. If we do that, I will honestly start a GoFundMe for it.
I don't think that'd necessarily be necessary. I mean, unless those things are like hella expensive. I mean,
They can be.
well, I mean, we don't
little
have to.
stick ones aren't so bad. Truth be
We
told.
don't need to make like like a bionic Rottweiler.
Why not? We have the opportunity. We have the means.
We have
They
the
have
technology.
This is why we're friends.
Beat you to it. But yeah, so like life has just been like one kick in the balls after the other here lately.
Yes, Stella, $1 million dog. Let's go.
On the bright side though, like I am within a month of paying off my house.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. So now I just got to figure out how I'm going to pay to fix it.
You'll get it. Like you said, we're all here. Now that I got, a job again, I can help.
Well, I mean, with all of your, experience working at a casino, why not come down to Indian country, man?
I've genuinely given some thought to moving as of late. Not because I hate it, because
I've got a house. We could be roommates, Dax.
Oh my God, we could be roommates. I don't need a bionic puppy. I just put him on a fishing line harness.
I do have I got a gang of dogs.
That thing right there. They can make those for the back leg. It's just there's like a stopper on it so they can push off.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like rollies for dogs. It's awesome. Which one of you found that?
That would be me.
Yeah, good job. That's exactly what I was talking about.
See, like the thing of it is, like I don't know how far up the leg they're going to amputate, because if you see like that back left leg there, right where it starts to bend, right above that is where he's got the swelling and everything. Where they did the X-rays and shit, it showed the pitting in the bone and everything.
Well, coincidentally, they actually have this.
Hey.
Awesome. See, that's what I thought of at first, but then I thought that the enlarged wheel was the thing I was talking about. This
now, see,
specifically, that's what I'm talking about.
That could possibly work. We could see about working with that one right there. Yeah.
Dude, how much does that go for?
Yeah. What kind of price tag are we looking at for that, Johnny?
Let's see.
And we need to get flames on there. That wasn't negotiable.
Oh, pricing right there.
Why am I watching this shit through that?
Oh shit!
I didn't see the price yet. See, I knew it was going to be pretty big. That's why I said GoFundMe.
$8.99, $10.99, $8.99, $18.99. But that's like braces and prosthetics. That's the difference there.
Yeah, like if they have to go full bore, that second longer black one is probably going to be the style you'd have to get.
That's yeah. I could. You can see about working with that. Yeah.
A casting kit for $49.
I see. Because then you can get it custom.
Well, that is something to. That's something Johnny. If you could send me that link in the DMs. I'm waiting to hear back from the vet. Right now, we do have him on oral steroid to try and help. Slow the progress of any growth while he's waiting to hear back on possible second opinions. I asked him, so what do we do? Well, I would recommend, just going ahead and amputating that port thread. Is there anything else we can do? I'm not if it saves us life, I'm not opposed to cutting it off, but why are we jumping straight to that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of removals. But
I'll tell you what, we can probably find some good smut for you to read for it.
Oh God, I still have to read the tax one.
Because I was like, hey man, I've been in here quite a lot recently with my mutts, and I've noticed you're giving them cross species medications, like antibiotics, steroids, this is all shit that can be used for humans as well. So wouldn't it stand to reason that maybe, just maybe, I don't know, we could do chemo? radiation, something. You know, like, can we
Lightsaber.
maybe take a whack at those things first? He's like, well, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, like, I you've already had, this song and dance. We could send you to the specialty vet up in Tulsa. I was like, yeah, I don't have the money for that. You know,
Get him a pogo stick.
after that last ride that I took, yeah, like I can't afford that again just to find out that, maybe, if there was a treatment, but I had to go there. Okay, sure, I'll pony up some dough. I'll eat ramen for a couple pay periods to pay for that.
Oh, don't mention ramen.
Well, I was saying, like, I would eat ramen to save my dog's
Blech.
leg, But
No ramen ever again.
but it's like, like, I don't want to go up there just on a hope.
Well, hope's my superpower. You can take like rage or greed. I don't care. But hope's mine, bitch.
So, because I mean, the last time I had to go up there was for the bulldog, and I'd gone to a different vet, Dax, than the one that normally use,
How
because
dare you?
they couldn't get him in. They couldn't get her in until like the next week, and she was like, she's having problems with her back legs. She was, just lethargic, a whole gang of issues. I was like, oh shit, is she dying on me? And so I called around to all the other local vets, and one of them was like, yeah, we can get you in 2 o'clock today. I'm like, all right, I'll be there. I take her in. They charge me for X-rays and whatnot. And then they call me back there. It's like, yeah, there's nothing we can do for her. Your dog has congestive heart failure. The dog's spine is fusing. Like, there's nothing we or anybody else in town are going to be able to do for her. If you want to try anything, you'll have to take her to a specialty vet up in Tulsa. And I'm already like $300 in the hole just from like the X-rays. I was like, well, fuck it, like I'll take her up there because I wanted to know what was wrong with her. And I get her up there, sit there waiting for a few hours. They come back, they take her, examine her and everything. It's like, yeah, we don't see anything these other people told you. Like, heart failure? No. Spinal fusing? No. Got a skin infection, which is common with bulldogs, getting dirt and whatnot in the rolls of their skin doesn't always get cleaned out properly. Make sure to bathe her regularly. And she's got some conjunctivitis. Her eyes are getting too dry. So, put this, on the inside of her eyelids. But, other than that, looks like she's got some heartworms. And a regular vet can take care of that for you. So, between the one vet and the specialty vet and the driving back and forth, it cost me almost $1,000 to find out my dog had heartworms.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, had the other dogs tested and everything. Luckily, all of them except for the bulldog and the Rottweiler tested negative. And we're going through the heartworm treatment for the bulldog right now, and was planning to start the heartworm treatment on the Rottweiler afterwards, because part of the protocol is steroids. And it's like, the way the bulldog was acting is like, I don't know if I want to leave the girlfriend and whatnot in charge with him being an asshole like that. But guess what? Now he's on steroids anyway, so.
I found another web page. This one has different prices.
And Sora, she sent me one as well. Thank you, Sora. Oh, that's a nifty looking one. Although that dog still has his leg. That's more of a brace.
Yeah, there's some braces in there. Oh my god, that's adorable. A little cranial helmet for like a little tiny Chihuahua looking thing.
If ever there was a species of dogs that needed a helmet, it would be Chihuahuas.
Well, they do have that soft spot, so.
I was just talking about their general retardation. I own 3 Chihuahuas, so yes, I can make that claim. I'm a subject matter expert.
Oh, I didn't know you liked rats.
I inherited them from my grandmother.
They're still rats.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Did you hear me deny?
Woof. Or squeak, sorry.
Although it was funny, like I did have this one girlfriend who I thought she was, fairly intelligent until I convinced her that Chihuahuas were like Mexican land piranhas. They hunt in large packs. They could clean the meat off the bone of like a chupacabra and
I want that cranial cap for a dog.
Right?
That green one, it's so awesome. Look at that.
Between me and the girlfriend, I believe the count is up to 9 hounds.
Oh.
Rotten. Okay, that helmet makes that Chihuahua look like even more of a window licker. Yeah, my grandmother, Nana Camel used to breed Chihuahuas too. She used to even be part of the American Kennel Club.
Look at that. That's a rat. That is not a dog.
Looks like he's got like pretty swole there.
He's got some gains. Look at that. He's swole as fuck. I take it back. He's the alpha dog. Look at him.
He's gonna grab you by the throat.
He's like, where's my kibble, bitch?
And that extra 5 I saw you hiding in your wallet.
Where's my money? That's so good. I'm so happy we went down this line. It's like the greatest image I've seen in like a week. Just swole fucking ugly terrier thing just sitting on a tricycle.
Well,
It's awesome.
You call me a dog lady. I'll have you know, I have even more cats than dogs. So yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's a hamster.
Hamsters are cool.
That's a guinea pig.
Whatever. Same fucking thing. It's a rat.
See, all I think of is fucking Chris Rock, And why do they call me a guinea pig? I'm not Italian. I'm not pork.
Awesome. I forgot about that movie.
Or
We're talking about the Nutty Professor, for those who don't know.
No, Dr. Dolittle.
That's what I meant. Same fucking guy. They were the same movies.
He had John Leguizamo as the rat.
I mean, that's fair. And
the tiger, on top of the building. Jump, you pussy!
I miss the days when John Leguizamo was actually cool.
Yeah. I mean, he had his moments.
Empire was a great movie that nobody saw.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody saw it.
I didn't like the end.
Well, I mean, you were invested in the character, so nobody liked the end.
Well,
but it made sense for the character.
I mean, I didn't like. Well, I mean, as far as that goes, but I mean, I didn't like.
Oh, it's warning! We're spoiling a 25-year-old movie or whatever. Shut up, cunts.
Yeah.
We're spoiling a 25-year-old movie that nobody saw.
He gets capped in the head like at the end.
Unceremoniously too. He's just in his car. He's like wished his like girlfriend or wife or whatever goodbye. It's like have a good day, and then somebody pops him
because he was
a drug lord. To be fair,
yeah, and he stole money from the gal.
Yes.
Which he had the money there, and he's like, I could just pay this back and be good with it.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, they don't care.
No.
You stole from them once, asshole. You think they're going to let you steal from them again?
I forgot about the fight with Fat Joe.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter the other day that Fat Joe's going to be hosting, I guess, the BET Awards.
God, I don't want
I never realized Fat Joe was black. Never occurred to me. I'm darker than Fat Joe.
It's probably true.
It is. I've been doing a lot of yard work this summer, man.
Then we have
Never once did I think Fat Joe. Oh yeah, that's a black dude. I thought at most he was like vaguely Hispanic, you know.
Truth be told, I thought he was Latino too for the longest time, so don't feel that bad.
I thought he was a Puerto Rican with Downs,
Oh, that's so mean but accurate.
right?
He does look like a Puerto Rican with Downs.
Hey, Fugi.
How's it going, Fugi?
I mean, I thought it was like just showing how far like the rap game had come. It's like they're letting, you know, they got a Downsy rapper. All right.
It's Special Olympics rap battles.
My favorite rapper of all time, his name is TMaxi. He's a Japanese rapper. His name is TMaxi, and he is here to sing and dance for you. He hasn't made music in 20 years. At least I don't think he is. I'm actually going to look that up.
I never finished that story. I started telling before Dax showed up.
No, and they were upset about it too at first.
Oh well, I guess you know I'll finish it now.
Actually, I think you guys are Chinese, not Japanese. Anyway, continue.
But like I got home from work the other day, went to go ask the girlfriend a question. She's in the backyard smoking a cigarette, drinking her coffee. She told me not to let the dogs out, and I was like, I wasn't going to, but okay. And I get out on the patio and I see why. There was a pit bull in our backyard, and it didn't belong to us. And this dog had a collar. Its coat was nice and clean. Its nails were trimmed. It obviously belonged to somebody, right? The collar didn't have any tags on it, though. So, you know, way to go there, dude.
Mm.
And the dog was not interested in, like, getting too close to him. Because I kind of walked up and I was like, you know, squat down so I'm not, you know, too big, imposing, or intimidating, as my manager would say.
I mean, you are a big guy.
Compared to him, yeah, sure. But okay, I hear growling.
You're growling?
Yeah, some of the dogs are in the bedroom,
Oh.
and it shares a wall.
I was gonna say I have a cat who's sleeping on my foot right now.
No, that was my Rottweiler Bulldog mix. I could tell by the growl. Apparently, one of the other animals probably got too close to her, and she's like, "Fuck off." But yeah, so you know, I'm trying to get close to this pit bull and see. It's like, okay, no tags. You know, does it you know, is it going to be friendly? Is it going to come, you know, sniff my hand? You know, kind of, you know. No. He's just like, nah, you stay over there. Leave me the fuck alone. I was like, all right, cool. You know. The girlfriend, though, she tries to start one. You want a treat? I'm like, bitch, get the fuck away from him. I'm like what? I'm like, he's growling at me. Go inside. You know, like, I called animal control. It's like, okay, cool. Go the fuck inside. I'll wait here for animal control. You know, old dude shows up, and at first he's just got like a leash that he's, you know, looped around, kind of like a lasso. I was like, I don't know if you want to get that close, dude. Like, you might want to go ahead and get the pole. And
that's what you should have told your mom.
and so he hands me the leash.
I almost spit out my drink. He hands you the lead. Why is he handing you anything? Isn't it his job to handle this shit?
Yeah, right.
God.
Well, I mean, he does take my advice. He goes and gets the pole with the loop on it and whatnot. He comes back, and we go ahead and we close the gate to the backyard so that way the dog just doesn't bolt down the street. And he starts, you know, walking down the dog, and the dog's just running laps around the yard. And at one point, the dog, he gets kind of close to me as he's making his pass. So that's when the guy gets the idea. It's like, hey, why don't I just go ahead and give you this leash? He seems to be getting close to you. I was like, yeah, as he's running away. And so, he just keeps walking this dog down and, just finally trying to tire him out, because it's the oldest form of hunting in human history. And I take a couple of tries at trying to lasso this dog, and this dog starts, snapping at the leash. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But finally, we get him so tired out, he's in one of the corners of the yard. And, just nice and slow, I just kind of walk up to him. I really don't want to get mauled today. I was like, I do have a knife in my pocket. So worst comes to worst, I'm going to shove a forearm down his throat with one arm. And I'm going to shiv this motherfucker with the other. But, he was so tired by that point, just kind of, looped the leash around him, and he's like, all right, I know when I'm beat. Hand the leash off to the animal control guy, and that's when the dog's like, you know what, fuck this old timer. He starts trying to he starts trying to make a run for it. It's like, do I need to take that back? He's like, no, I got it. He gets halfway down the driveway. He's like, I thought I had it. I was like, do I need to take that back? Get the dog loaded up in the truck, and he's like, yeah, I had to pick this dog up last week.
Man, he's a repeat offender.
I was like, do you know? I mean, so the owner came and picked him up at least once, right? He's like, yeah, he lives over in those apartments over there. It's half a block away. I was like, so he lives over in those apartments over there, huh? Yeah. And when he came to pick up his dog the last time, he got irate. I was like, about what? About me picking up his dog. I was like, well, tell that shithead that if he takes better care of his animals, you wouldn't be picking up his dog. He's like, yeah, I mean, we didn't use that language, but, that was about the gist of it. I was like, well, give me his address. I'll fucking tell him. Better yet, I'll tell him the next time his dog ends up in my yard, I'm going to drop its carcass on his doorstep.
He doesn't know that you wouldn't do it.
No, he doesn't.
And we don't need to tell him.
What he would find out, though, is Camel's got a mean right hook.
Yeah, it's fair that the dog comes home with a black eye, at least.
No, the owner.
Oh, well, that too. Actually, you said something that made me want to tell a joke, and I now just remembered it because, I'm dumb like that. You were talking about how you guys loaded him into the truck, and I'm like, well, it would have been better just to get the dog loaded to begin with.
But,
yeah. I missed that one too. Fuck you guys.
We already talked about how we don't drink, Dax.
Yeah, but the dog would.
I mean, I don't keep any malt liquor in my house, Dax.
You don't have to give him tequila or anything. You just,
I said malt liquor. It's a pit bull.
You don't have to give him any good stuff. Just get him with the schnapps.
Just get him a Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Is that what you're thinking?
Oh God, that's not what I was thinking. But now I want to say it a lot. These people want to own animals, and that's cool. By all means.
You're right, Assassin. I am not that guy. I would just hog tie the dog, and then I would beat the owner.
Yeah, while the dog watched. Just have it have a Clockwork Orange style on the dog.
Just turn around you did this.
If you come over again, this is what's going to happen to your master every time.
I said I was going to beat the owner. I didn't say I was going to rape him, Dax. My God.
I didn't say you were, you weirdo. We ain't doing Pulp Fiction on him.
Just start singing in the rain. I mean, my God.
Hey, now I'm not allowed to say that because I get in trouble. For those who don't know, I'll make it a quick story. I got in trouble with surveillance once because I was on security's. Well, it's not private apparently, but it's supposed to be private. Their channel, and somebody was coming off their break, and I was the guy doing dispatch. And I tell these guys, it's like when they tell me when they're off the break, I'm like, hey, no, you are busy. And they're like, how am I busy? I'm like, well, I want you to go outside and dance in the rain. Well, she took offense to that as a lovely Karen tribal member and said I told that person to go out and rain dance, which wouldn't be effective because it's already raining, you dumb bitch.
Wow.
She really is. Oh, God, she's dumb. Like, that's the whole point of a rain dance is to make rain. The rain already existed. Ergo, I wouldn't say go do a rain dance. I'm just going to go tell you to play in the rain because that's fun.
I would have just told him to play in traffic.
Well, I used that one earlier. Actually, we did. We had somebody doing like a parking lot check. It's like, it's 10-2. I'm like, well, you know, why don't you go play in traffic and see if you're really 10-2?
So Mr. Scott can't tag me for some reason. Okay.
Well, I mean, you are the world's greatest, tag player, so you're not it.
Well, I had a
Cha-cha.
I had a bit of a dark period
I always knew you
month
were
or
a
two
girl.
ago. Well, I mean,
dark period.
You had your little tweet thread.
I
day.
deleted the first tweet. Thank you very much.
Yeah, after I told you to shut your whore mouth.
Pretty much. I was whining. I
Yeah,
still feel
well,
like it, but
I was going through something similar. I just didn't tweet about it. All right.
Yeah, well, I did, and I made a mistake, and I fixed the mistake.
But like I started just going through and just pulling down old posts, and I was seriously considering just like deleting all my social media there for a minute, and got to the point where I pared down who I was following, what I was, my followers. So I mean, if you were following me and you're not anymore, that's not Twitter's fault. That was me.
I should do a purge of those I'm following at this point.
And I just got it down to like a handful of followers and followings, and then aside from the small circle of people, it was mostly just like cat videos and naked chicks, just kittens and tittens, right?
Yeah.
Try to improve my mood. And funny enough, once I started looking at the For You timeline, I started seeing everybody's tweets, all the people that I used to follow. The only downside was they're at least 12 hours old. So
that's why I usually put notifications on for the people I interact with often. Just because I might not interact with somebody doesn't mean I don't read your stuff if it's directed at me or if I don't see it once in a while. It's not on purpose. That's just how social media works, guys. It's nothing personal. If you have something really funny and you want me to see it, just tag me. I don't give a shit.
Yes, I kept you, Spoon. Why would I get rid of you, man? Like, you keep track of all that internet drama shit. Like, when I really start feeling bad about my life, I can just go to your timeline and see Ralph and Chris Chan, and suddenly I feel a whole lot better about my circumstances.
Oh yeah.
And then I look at boobs, and cat videos. That's why I still follow Six. Like, he posts like a ton of cat videos, and it makes the day a little bit better.
I used to have a guy for the daily boob stuff. Now he doesn't do it often anymore.
Who? What?
Truth be told, it's one of the people who interacts with like Monkey and all of them on an average. But he used to send us some interesting pictures, if you know what I mean.
Ah.
You were probably on that list at some point, you dirty pervert.
I think I remember that guy.
Yeah, well, I know you were on the list. I guarantee it.
I was not on the list, but
You must have been on the list.
I was. Camel was on the list, and I got tagged whenever Camel was on the list. So I got
Good guy, though. He is a good guy.
I got secondhand boobs, so I was okay with that.
He gave it such a variety moment too. Like, it was never really the same people twice. Sometimes he'd give you the same image twice, but it was usually fairly diverse. Unless it was Jack Day, then it was always Asians. Which again, I think is weird because that was my fetish before Jack announced it. But who doesn't love Asians? Come on.
I would go for the ones that Jack would call fat.
I'd have a little bit of meat on you. I never understand people who are like, oh, you gotta have like a size 0. I'm like, why? That's not fun,
I don't want to get stabbed by a tailbone.
right?
I don't want to break anything. But
So
I don't know about you guys, but I am starting to fade.
yeah, that's
Well,
understandable.
that's what happened to Roger Rabbit after 48 hours in the book.
I don't remember.
We should read
part.
that.
Johnny, you got to go back to the future.
But I guess the only parting thought that I have is going to be this.
You have a parting thought?
This meme that I just found.
My body is a machine that turns gas station hot dogs into diarrhea.
Yes,
It's very efficient too.
and it works fast.
Who needs any laxative? Just go get a gas station hot dog.
But yeah, do you guys have anything going on?
I don't
Before
know
we
any
close
thoughts,
it?
so I don't have any parting thoughts.
I mean, Sang was not here, so it wouldn't be nearly as fun to try and steal his outro.
Fine, do an outro that Terry would do.
Don't go outside; it's not worth it.
That's fair.
Yeah. With that, the zoo is closed. Have a good night, everyone.
Laters.
Bye, everybody.